Alrighty guys, welcome back. Today we are changing out an expansion valve on this condensing unit. I've been going through a lot of these recently. It seems as though they've had a string of really bad manufacturing because I've replaced about 3 of them in the past couple of weeks. But it is what it is. So I guess we'll go ahead and get started, get everything connected, and everything ready to disassemble. All right, we got our gauges hooked up and connected. We've got our common suction tied in. We've got our high side. And what I'm gonna do is pump it down in the heat mode and send all the refrigerant into the refrigerant lines and the evaporator coil. Of course, I'm gonna be watching the overall pressure, make sure it doesn't rise above where it should. But to start, if you've never done this before, go ahead and connect your B and your R. Make sure that your reversing valve is energized. This is a Rheem, so it energizes in heat. I've already got my liquid port shut down and the suction port cracked a little bit. Put our disconnect in. I guess it also connects to the water pump. I didn't know that. Take our handy screwdriver and go ahead and get her started. Shut this down. Pressures will rise a little bit. Go ahead and crack our hose. Purge what's left in our condenser. Double check and make sure our connections are nice and tight. Here in our valves. Yes, they are nice and tight. Minimize any leakage there. And once we're done purging our system, we'll deactivate the reversing valve, releasing any other refrigerant that may be in the condenser. And we're gonna pull out the Schrader here in our common suction port, but we're gonna give it just a minute to purge the rest of the system. All right, so we can kind of tell my gauges are out of calibration here a little bit, but we're all purged out. We've removed the Schrader core from the common suction here. Go ahead and get this guy out of the way. And we have taken off the entire top to our unit. Makes it a little bit easier to get to our expansion valve. Also going to remove this whole section here. Will come out. You gotta just remove these 2 screws and the whole thing just comes out. I've also detached the coil sensor. It goes at the top of the coil up here. I went ahead and removed that. But our problem is right here. Our sensing bulb has detached from our expansion valve, and that is the problem. So we are going to replace this whole thing. Time to get it cleaned up and moved out of the way. looks like I'll be able to cut them out. I don't like unsweating if I don't have to, so let's see if I can get that. All right, now that we have removed our expansion valve, we can piece together our new one, get it shaped in there, and then reshape these guys. I don't know if you've ever done one before, but they're a bit of a they're loads of fun. But we'll get it shaped together, and I will show you how I do it. All right, this is the TXV just before installation, or before brazing. I've got the new TXV mounted in here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 braze joints to make. If you've never done one of these expansion valves, they come with these little couplings to carry onto the cap tubes. That way you don't have to bring them all the way back into the coil. It just makes it a little bit easier. You gotta ream them out a little bit. That kind of stinks, but alrighty, I got a little bit of nitrogen sitting on the system right now, letting it kind of settle back in, but let's see. We got it brazed in there. Down there was a bit of a challenge, but we got it. Then we got all 6 of our cap tubes up here. Everything seems to be looking pretty good so far. So I'm gonna let it rest for a little bit, see if we drop anything significant, and then we will put a vacuum on it. All right, we got our vacuum going. We got a 1 hose pull on this guy going right now. I'm gonna disconnect the gauges completely, get them out of here. Got to strap in the bulb, put back the temperature sensor, put everything wired back together, and get it cleaned up and get it waiting on the vacuum. Contactors pulled back in, 2 flashing lights, means we are ready for normal operation. Go ahead and pull off my hose. Now we're going to put our probes on there. High side. Low side. And our 2 pipe clamps. Stick this one at the end of the dryer. This one, stick it right on our suction line. We are ready to start it up. I'm going to go ahead get a timer started, let it warm up for a few minutes, and then we're gonna see where it's at. I'm gonna try to see if I can get you guys to view the JobLink app and see how it's coming along. Alrighty guys, we've been running here for about 15 minutes now. Outdoor air temperature is roughly 60 degrees today. We've been running in air conditioning for a little while. I wanted to make sure that we were running good in air conditioning, even though I changed the outdoor expansion valve. But we're gonna flip it over here to heat. Just gonna energize the reversing valve, send it into heat mode, and I'm gonna have it run for an additional 10 minutes, plus or minus, and see how we get. Make sure that expansion valve is working properly, and see if we need any gas or anything. I did lose a little bit while pumping it down, but that's normal. I always bid for about a pound or two of gas, just in case. You just never know. Alrighty guys, we've been running for a little while now in the heat mode, and everything seems to be working out pretty good. Discharge line's real hot, liquid line is pretty warm. I'm gonna get you guys an inspection of the JobLink app and see what you guys think as well, but everything looks pretty good according to the data sheet here for a 3-ton upflow. Air conditioning, we were in somewhere between these bottom two runs here, so about 9 degrees. We were at about 10 degrees subcooling, so that's pretty good. Heat mode, we are at about 60 degrees, so we're looking for about 26 degrees subcooling. I think we're at like 27, 28. Everything's looking pretty good right now. We're gonna let it settle in for a few more minutes and just double check, but I don't see anything inherently wrong here. I'm gonna go ahead and watch it for a few more minutes, but I believe we got this one completely finished. So here's a look at the system in the cooling mode. We've got a pretty good temp split going across the coil. Subcooling looks good. Everything looks pretty good, pretty normal. So nothing crazy to worry about, nothing to look out for really. Alright, well unfortunately I'm unable to get you some screenshots of the Measure Quick app over here, but long story short, we've got about a 30 degrees temp rise over the evaporator coil, which that is just the heat pump running. I do not have the heat strips running at this moment, so that's pretty good here. We've got about a 24 degree subcooling based off of the data sheet on the internal plate. That's right where we want to be. So I'm going to package this guy up and give it back to the customer. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. And let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Alright, see you in the next one.